obsessed with the Connie Pheiff Show. It's about a lifestyle shift to move up or out.
Hey, what's your jam? What's the one thing that really drives you? What makes you unstoppable?
It's about opening a new door to live your dream.
People give up way too early on their dreams.
It's about enjoying the journey. It's about keeping it real.
Damn, now the interviewee is interviewing the interviewer. I like this.
It's all about you.
I knew there was something else I wanted to do. Stop taking shit so seriously. Y'all can do this. Take an outrageous look at life and laugh.
This is the Connie Pheiff Show.
We love your voice. We love your jam. You need to be on radio.
And now your host, Connie Pheiff.
Hi, everyone. It's Connie Pheiff, and we're back to the Connie Pheiff Show. And we always continue to bring you back those guests who are outrageous, the crazy ones, those that are playing at the highest level. And you know, those are the ones I love to work with because they are the crazy ones. And like Steve Jobs always said, the crazy ones always get it done. And this woman today is certainly getting it done. So she is Jonna Bianco. She is the founder, president, and chairwoman at American Bondholders Foundation. Now, when I first heard about her, it was when a story broke just a few weeks ago, hitting Biden for promising to make good on U.S. sovereign debt to China, which really got a lot of traction by the media, shared by, 45 himself and many other influencers. So Jonna Bianco wrote the op-ed on the topic, and we here, when our team heard about it, they're like, we got to get her on the show. And we wanted to bring her here to the Connie Pheiff Show because we want her to share her thoughts, her perspective on this, also get some feedback and some insight on the political environment today, where we're at with COVID, and anything else we just might be talking about today. You just never know. So welcome, Jonna Bianco. Welcome here to the Connie Pheiff Show.
Thank you so much, Connie, for having me on. Thank you.
Well, I feel like we just know each other. We're just kindred spirits.
Very much so.
Yes. So you're talking about, and I read your article, and really, I mean, why does this matter? Why is this so important to you?
Well, first of all, China overall is very important to the American future. We see excessive amounts of movement from the left on a socialism. They call it socialism, right. Progressiveness. They should literally call it what it truly is. It's hardcore movement to communism. And we're seeing that extensively in our country. Yes. We see the economic tragedies from the COVID-19, the intellectual property theft, the forced technology. America is losing trillions and trillions of dollars right now because of the Chinese Communist Party. And so China is a very, very big player in the future of the world and in the future of the United States of America. And I wrote the article because I felt it was important going into the presidential election that sent a message loud and clear. Yes. If you want the status quo, as we have seen for the past several decades, where Wall Street firms, corporate America, the elite, the globalists have sold out our soul to America, our manufacturing base, everything, then Biden is your guy. If not, then President Trump is the way to go. If you want to take America back and you want to get back the rule of law and the voice of the American people, not the Goldman Sachs, not the Morgan Stanleys, not the globalists and elitists, but the heart and soul of America, then President Donald J. Trump is your choice. And I say that because I spent a year working behind the scenes on collecting on defaulted sovereign debt that the U.S. Treasury itself confirmed, yes, these are real bonds, no different than a U.S. Treasury, but good luck because China doesn't want to pay it.
So there's something bigger. I mean, there's really bigger implications to this and to our economy. I mean, has there been any attempts to get China to pay this up before now?
I spent 19 years officially next month working as the American Bondholders Foundation.
Okay.
As I started to say, I spent a year working behind the scenes with under the President Bush administration.
Okay.
Working with the State Department, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Treasury, the White House, Federal Trade Commission. And finally, a year later, they sent me in a direction with the Foreign Bondholders Protective Council, which was established in 1934 under President Roosevelt, has already collected on 47 previous bond settlements. The China debt default would be number 48. And so following that instruction, I created the American Bondholders Foundation 19 years ago next month on August 16th, and have been fighting for justice for the 20,000 people we represent in 46 states across this country. And let me tell you, the pro-China lobby in Washington, D.C., it is just massive.
It is massive. And as you know, I used to work at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Lobbyist. And, and this is what we did. So, I mean, I was involved with a lot of these talks at different points until, I moved on to other opportunities. But really what you've done and for all of these years, I mean, do you in some sense feel like you've taken 2 steps forwards and 10 steps backwards? I mean, every time somebody new comes into office, I'm certain you have to re-examine the work that you've been doing.
It's a continual education process of informing new staff in congressional offices during election time, new administration.
Right.
I mean, the Bush administration was focused more on the war on terrorism because of 9/11 in the Middle East, and of course, the Obama administration, all we saw was an apology tour across the globe that didn't get us anywhere. And of course, the purpose of the article that I wrote was to let America know that Joe Biden knew about this debt. I mean, but did nothing to collect it.
Right.
And yet continued to say America was a safe place to invest.
Right.
Instead of saying, yes, it is China, but, you owe a debt to our people. Right now, in excess of $1.6 trillion.
Right. I mean, we knew about this debt. I mean, the American people, I mean, we even knew. I mean, of course, at the U.S. Chamber, we knew that China always had this debt with us. But, we never seen anyone going after it. But at the same time, I see something saying, about Trump that he's, his reelection is on the wrong track. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's on the right track. I think he gets a lot of negative media. I think that if you look at the actual actions of this administration and what they have done to begin to withdraw America, decouple America from China, from the Chinese Communist Party. And I want to be clear, it's not the people of China. My heart actually goes out to them over the oppression that they are under and the lack of freedoms that they have and the abuses that we see, like in the Uyghurs. But the Chinese Communist Party, I see President Trump, Secretary Pompeo, moving in a direction to decouple the United States. I mean, in stopping the thrift savings plans funds from going there, a multitude, cutting various companies off of U.S. capital markets. That is going to do nothing but fund Chinese military occupation in the South China Seas and help build their intellectual property theft programs and hacking programs that we've seen. So I do see a significant move towards the betterment of America in trying to get fair and equal trade. President Donald J. Trump said it perfect when he talked about reciprocity. Americans want to do business with China and the rest of the world, but it has to be fair and equal for all. And that's not what we see with the Chinese Communist Party or their intentions.
Well, what about COVID? And of course, saying that it's coming from China. Do you think that we handle that well?
I think that based on the circumstances, we handled it as best as we could by being hit blindsided.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the stockpiles of PPE, ventilators, hospital equipment, we had nothing in reserve.
Right.
No one ever dreamt in a million years that we would get hit with this.
Yes.
And so during the Obama administration, they did nothing to look at the what ifs. What if this happens? Or what if that happens? Even during the various swine flus and Ebolas and all of those things that our country was hit with, one would have thought that that administration would have built up a stockpile of supplies for any event, a future situation.
Pandemic.
Pandemic. That's right.
What we have.
They didn't. And so unfortunately, when this hit, President Trump did not have those reserves to pull from. And so started with a zero situation.
Right.
I think he's done a good job at trying to not overstep the bounds of states' rights and the governors, and put the responsibility on the governors.
Right.
I think he's done a phenomenal job at getting equipment and ventilators and PPE, which again goes back to China. Think about it. China lied about this virus. They knew about this virus long before.
Well, a lot of these PPE supplies come from China.
They all, 95%.
Right. They're all coming from China. So what do we do? And this is where, we believe that this pandemic started in the first place, and now we're taking supplies from them, or we need those supplies. And that's where they're coming from.
Right. And of course, we know that they have been withholding our medical supplies, the PPE. They went around the world scooping it all up to use as leverage against the United States, refusing to ship all of our pharmaceutical supplies, medications that our citizens need, whether it's heart medication, diabetes medication. Right. They are still holding that, which goes to show the true intentions of the Chinese Communist Party against the United States. And by the way, up until the Clinton administration, all generic drugs and some main label drugs were manufactured under U.S. control in Puerto Rico. But and there was 4 big, massive manufacturing facilities down there. Right. And under the Clinton administration, doing a favor for China
that got
and
moved.
Their buddies, he withdrew. He issued an executive order that stopped all of the tax benefits, the programs that were helping these pharmaceutical industry in Puerto Rico. He withdrew all of that and shipped it all to China. And that's when we saw Puerto Rico take the downturn in financial ruination, the job losses, and which put our national security for the citizens of this country at great risk. And it's only continued to spiral downward ever since.
So why is the left so angry at Republicans that are working to elect Joe Biden?
I can't answer that. I don't consider them Republicans if they're working to elect Joe Biden.
Okay.
I think what you see, I think the term is rhino. I think what you see is the Trump derangement syndrome, the breakup of the establishment, the way things have always been done, the cover-ups, the corruption, the stuffing of people's pockets by the pro-China lobby, and corporate America. That for years has run roughshod over the citizens of this country. And I think that that's what you're seeing. They're not real Republicans. And they're very self-centered, to be honest, and care nothing but about themselves versus what they were elected to do in office. And I think Donald J. Trump is exposing that. And that is your problem.
Well, the one thing I see,
corruption.
And that's the one thing that I see, they're really, they look at one issue. It's really a one issue place where a lot of people are looking at for the political system. They're looking at specific issues rather than looking at the whole.
Correct.
And again, what's good, for all Americans versus what's good for me. And so I think that's something that I see.
The Connie Pheiff Show is heard everywhere. You can find The Connie Pheiff Show on most of your favorite networks. It's time to now recognize and thank our major networks for all of their support. In the house, we have Conscious Business Radio, C-Suite Radio, Transformation Radio, iHeartRadio. We are also heard on Google Play, Apple, Radio, Stitcher, and so many more that I just can't keep up with them all. I'm Connie Pheiff, your unstoppable diva. Learn more about our gym and how we can work together at my fancy schwanky website, ConniePheiffShow.com. I'll see you over there. Until then, like, share. Now back to the show.
What do you think, or have you seen any other countries take any type of action against China before, or why aren't they?
Well, they actually have. In 1987, the Iron Lady herself, whom I adored, Margaret Thatcher.
I love Margaret.
I do too. She said to China, the buck stops here. You're not going to have unfettered access and trade on our capital markets. I mean, she cut them off.
Yes.
You're not going to trade on our markets.
Right.
You're not going to continue to take money from our citizenry,
right.
And stiff them and rip them off until you demand a one China policy, and you want the benefits, but you don't want the responsibilities of successor government doctrine.
Yes.
And so you're going to start paying the debts that you owe our people first. Then we'll talk about you trading on our markets.
Yes.
Right. And so China paid Great Britain for the very same bonds that America holds today.
Yes.
And the French hold and the Belgians hold. Keep in mind, this is global. It's not just America that hold these bonds. But what China has been banking on since Henry Kissinger kind of threw the bondholders under the bus in order to open up normalized trade for all of his Wall Street buddies that we see today. And of course, Secretary Schultz behind him kind of upheld that same protocol. None of them deny that China owes this debt. They just figure if they can just keep pushing you down, and making life difficult for the bondholders that are trying to uphold the rule of law and collect this debt, that eventually they'll give up and go away.
Yes.
That's not going to happen.
It's not
under
going
my
to
watch. That's right. So
something that you said, and I'll quote you, that this just isn't a bondholder issue. This is an American issue.
That is correct.
And I mean, that is such a profound and powerful statement. And again, because it's our taxes that are going towards this, and the payments on this, Chinese held treasury. So, I mean, we could all ask, why isn't China paying it? Why can't they pay their own paper? Why aren't we saving American tax dollars? But that's something again that we have yet to be seen.
Because they've never been asked to.
Yeah.
No U.S. government official has said to China, hey, you owe a debt to the American people. You need to pay your debt. And if you don't, well, we have alternative avenues to collect it.
Right.
No U.S. administration has done that. And
I know if I have a debt hanging out there, they're calling.
Just like trading on our markets, China's protected under an agreement with the Obama administration that Joe Biden himself signed on a memorandum that they don't have to comply with the same rules and regulations as every other business trading on Wall Street.
Right.
No financials. You don't know where the money's going. You don't know what it's being used for. But hey, it's China, so they get a free pass.
Right. But the question has to be why? Where is the accountability? And again, why isn't this being forced to happen? And who is suffering from that? Who has taken the fall from that? And that is the American people. Exactly.
And you really nailed it talking about we as taxpayers. American taxpayers are currently sending $72 million a day to China on Chinese-held U.S. treasuries, which accumulate to about $1.1 trillion.
Right.
And what we have recommended is take these bonds into the U.S. government, which are valued at about 1.6, 1.7 trillion,
right,
and pay China with their own paper. We talk about the need for our infrastructure and manufacturing base being brought back from China.
Yes.
Well, why not use the difference? First of all, we could reduce our debt by hundreds of billions of dollars. And instead of sending that 72 million a day to China, let's work on creating jobs of building bridges and repairing our roads and upgrading our airports and our infrastructure, bringing our steel mills back, our pharmaceutical manufacturing back into this country.
Giving back the jobs to the people of the U.S. because the one thing that we don't do.
Sold out.
We were sold out. We no longer mine it, make it, or farm it.
Exactly.
And I've shared with many people about a foundation that we're starting. And those are the 3 key values that we're going to be giving those who are going to benefit from the foundation. You need to make it. You need to farm it. You need to know how to do these simple tools for life, for yourself. So again, we do need to bring the jobs back. I 110% agree with that. We need to bring it back. We need to give jobs to the American people because no one should be on welfare. No one.
That's right. There's no reason.
There is no reason. There's jobs plentiful and make it, create it. Again, make it, farm it,
right.
Create it.
Our children are not taught this in school these
They're
days.
not taught that. Our forefathers, that's all they did. And everybody came here from, someplace else. But when they came here, they learned how to be very productive citizens.
That is correct. But our country, when you think about it, has been sold out by Wall Street, by corporate America.
Right.
And look at look who's running our U.S. Treasury.
Right.
Goldman Sachs. Go back how many secretaries of Treasury and tell me where did they come from?
Right.
Goldman Sachs, Wall Street. I made a comment yesterday on the air on One American News. The sooner that President Donald J. Trump stop surrounding himself with the Wall Street elitists, corporate America, the Goldman Sachs types that are running this country and our treasury, the better off America will be. Because this is America first, not China first, not Wall Street first.
No.
And it was those people that sold out our country for the blue collar worker, for the heart and soul of America, the entrepreneurship. And of course, China's stealing with forced technology, intellectual property theft has exacerbated that tenfold.
Yes.
And so let's bring it back. Let's put America back to work.
Right. And that's what
making it here.
And that's what our country is, right. And that is what our country is built on. People coming here, getting their hands dirty, working very hard for what they have. And that is something that our future generation is not being taught to do.
That's correct. But you know what? You got to start somewhere.
Yes.
Why not start here?
Right.
President Donald J. Trump says he's a law and order president. Look, the American Bondholders Foundation, representing 20,000 citizens in 46 states. We don't need new laws passed. We don't need Congress to do new legislation. We simply need the existing laws upheld and enforced.
Right.
It's that simple.
It's that simple.
It is that simple. But again, Wall Street in bed with China is running blockade.
But you have those blocks.
Turn.
Yeah. The one thing that I see and what's happening right now, because we call it COVID and chaos right now. People aren't listening to each other. There's a lot of talking going on. There's a lot of people talking over the next person. There isn't a lot of listening going on. There isn't collaboration going on. There isn't looking at the bigger picture and say what is best for the greater good. And so much of that. And you and I could go on today and we could keep on talking about this. But Jonna, we need to move on. So question I ask everyone that comes on here, if you could finish this sentence for me. I am unstoppable because
I'm a patriot. I'm a God-fearing Christian woman. I am an entrepreneur. I represent thousands of people that are counting on me, depending upon me, and I will not let them down. We have a duty and an obligation to our family, to our country, to everything we stand for, and we will fight for it.
And we will be the voice. We will be the voice for those
that don't
have one. Right.
Amen.
Right. So who's in your tribe? Who are your truth tellers?
my truth tellers.
Yes.
I'm very, very blessed to be with an incredible group of people that I work with every day, from Secretary Bill Bennett to Roger Robinson, Brian Kennedy, John Hallam, Al Fromm, Dick D'Amato.
I love Brian Kennedy, by the way.
He's my right hand and has been for years and years and years. So they keep me focused. They have taken me under wing and showed me the ropes, the do's, the don'ts, the rights, the wrongs. And at the end of the day, they all stand for the truth, the facts, and for Lady Justice. And that's what we represent.
Love that.
Very blessed. Very, very blessed.
So how do you want the world to hear from you?
The world plays by a set of rules. China needs to play by the very same rules. We have seen Chinese Communist Party run roughshod around the world, causing problems everywhere. And I think it's time, and under Donald J. Trump's leadership, we're seeing that, and with Secretary of State Pompeo, where people are uniting and saying enough is enough, and standing up for their own people, standing up for the rule of law, standing up for what's right versus what's wrong, and justice will prevail. I'm a confident believer in that.
Love that. I love that. So what's next, Jonna? Where do you go from here?
Well, where we go from here is we have some documents coming out from the Congress showing support out of the House and Senate, bipartisan, showing support to the president to get justice for these bondholders. I mean, look, at the end of the day, unfortunately, we have a secretary at Treasury who could have made this happen already, because the law is already there. But Secretary Mnuchin is not going to do that, because think about it. How did he make his money?
Right.
Selling movies to China and in the movie industry before he became Secretary of Treasury.
Right. They don't want to rock the boat.
To me, I think it's a conflict of interest, personally speaking.
That's a huge conflict of interest.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But he's running our government, treasury, and finances. And he's 100% leaned towards pro-China, not pro-America first, which is the Trump agenda. So we're sending a message to the president, asking him to give executive orders to Secretary Mnuchin to get this done. Since Mnuchin will not do it on his own, because he's too pro-China, then it has to go a step above him. And at the end of the day, it goes to the big boss, the President of the United States, to uphold the rule of law, to get recompense back to these American bondholders, and for the benefit of our entire country across the board. Enough's enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of people suffering in it right now. It'd be nice to keep that money right here at home and help them.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it's all about holding China accountable. I mean, President Trump keeps saying he's gonna. So, and we've seen a lot of action out of him so far. But we need even more. We need more. That's right.
Well, John, I want to thank you for being here today. I love talking to you. And like I said, I know, we're just kindred spirits and we can keep talking about this all day, but we both have work to do.
Yes, we
need to get out there and we need to be shaking the trees and making things happen. So I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you in Nashville soon.
Yes. But thank you all for being here. And remember to continue to follow and watch the Connie Pheiff Show as we can bring on more and more wonderful guests each and every week that will help you thrive, not survive, but thrive. Challenge yourself this week to be kind to you and also be kind to each other. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, y'all, it's Connie Pheiff. Thank you for listening to the Connie Pheiff Show. Check back often. You don't want to miss any of the good stuff. If you like what you hear and would like to be a guest on the show, head over to theconniefeifshow.com to apply. While you're there, check out our amazing advertising opportunities that will put you right in front of your perfect client. I will see you over there. Do yourself a favor this week. Activate your power and be unstoppable together.